What will this mean for competition? Could it spur competition?
I mean, it's definitely going to spur competition. I mean, if you're out there, you're shopping for a vehicle, one is eligible for a $7,500 rebate, one is not. I mean, you're going to shop both vehicles. Of course, everyone knows what Tesla is. They have a lot of brand recognition, but something like this is going to get shoppers to look and consider other things. And a lot of times that does ultimately end in a purchase. So without a doubt, Tesla will be at a disadvantage if this goes through.
Jessica, just set the context here, though. 7,500. What does that mean for the ultimate price point of an EV right now? Because, well, they're not cheap. And 7,500 doesn't seem that much in comparison to the cost of a Rivian, for example.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. But I think as we go towards the mass market consumer, they're looking for cheaper EVs. And in that case, $7,500 does become probably more attractive because someone that's buying a $100,000 EV, they're probably not bothered by these rebates anyhow. And at the end of the day, people are buying a lot of times, even though they shouldn't be, on monthly payment. And so when it's calculated out, you're looking at the monthly payment, the $7,500 apply, especially for lease customers, that can make a really big difference and make that a lot more attractive and get consumers to buy.
California, though, I'm assuming, has been a first adopter, early adopter of EVs more broadly when you compare state to state. So how much of the mass market is still left to penetrate in California?
Well, I think that's the whole thing, is that in California, the EV market share over 20%. So you have a lot of mass, or a lot of early adopters have already purchased. So getting the mass market is probably the bigger challenge here, because these people need convincing. They probably don't have highest income. They're kind of questioning whether they even want an EV. So if now is a time, if there was ever a time to have an incentive on EVs, it is for the mass market, not for the people that were early adopters that were excited about EVs to start with and probably didn't need much incentive to even purchase.
Just compare states with state. We know that Newsom has not been afraid to push back at Elon Musk and indeed perhaps be a key supporter of the EV sector. Would this be replicated elsewhere, do you think, if federal support did come away?
I mean, it's likely. We have things like CARB states. Other people are following some of the California Air Resource Board, some of the edicts that they have put out. So there is a precedent here of other states kind of following California's lead. But at the end of the day, this program does sound quite costly, especially if you're to sell a lot of vehicles. So states going to have to find funding for this program, which may be complicated. I mean, California has a clear order, zero emissions vehicle by 2035. And, you know, if that's the case, then programs like this will have to exist to spur that mass market to start to buy.
If they really wanted to spur the mass market, you'd anticipate that you let Chinese EVs in, which are much cheaper than US competitors, who therefore, given that that won't be the case, where are the cheaper vehicles? Who will this end up supporting?
Well, I mean, I think any automakers, I mean, they're all kind of scrambling. I mean, in this era of affordability, cost of living increases, inflation, people just feeling a lot less wealthy than they have in the past has been a big issue for car buyers. So I think a lot of automakers are trying to focus on the lower end. So anyone that is delivering good value, that kind of has maybe like a $40,000 price tag, they're probably going to get a lot more eyeballs than some of these other things that we have seen, like the Jaguar coming out in a few years, or any of these, six-figure EV type of vehicles.